I'm not kidding you, man. This YouTube, TikTok stuff is awesome. Why? Because you could just give your point of view. And I educate myself through YouTube. I've been on YouTube for at least 10 years, but I've taken it seriously as a business now in the last year, not even a year. And I got a lot of momentum. And I talk about a few things. I talk about being an entrepreneur, what it was like, being divorced a couple times, having alimony. Now I'm really touching a nerve on the USPS opportunities. But I'll tell you something right now. You know who's really giving me life? Is the new administration. Just watching Trump having these game plans way before he was elected at 47 and implementing in first 6 months. And being a businessman as myself, I understand his strategies. I understand his negotiations. I understand why he picked the people that he picked. And believe me, when he was at 45, he couldn't get rid of some of these people that were incompetent. Now, he's making choices. And if they don't perform, they're out. And understand this guy's 79 years old at this point. He's got maybe, 3.5 years left to make something happen. He's going to make it happen, man. For the first 6 months of his strategy and execution and boots on the ground with himself and others, let's face it, we have hope in the United States today, especially for you go-go's. What I mean by a go-go is somebody that's out there to hustle. Now, here's my game plan for the next 6 months. Okay? You see how Trump keeps everything to himself until they set the seeds. And once they set the seeds, the Democrats are all over that fucker, right? And it's going to be unnegotiated, unnegotiable, unreasonable. Shoot it down. It hasn't happened. So here's my plan. I'm not going to share what I'm going to do. I don't share what I do. I haven't shared what I've done for years. I've just known I've had my own personal career goals, achievements, aspirations, and I've achieved them. Now, what are you going to do? The best thing to do, my recommendation, is write them down. I've journaled all my life, basically. Why? Because I forget shit. Then I have to be disciplined and focused, and I have to have priorities. And a lot of times I can't afford to do what I want to do. You got to be patient, especially if you're new to the game. For in other words, you're married young, you have children young, and all of a sudden you get divorced young. It changes everything, man. And you could either take, what route you're going to take? The positive route, the negative route, or the standstill route. That's right. What are you going to do about it? And to me, I love what Trump's doing because he's implementing business tactics, values, tax advantages, tax advice, especially for the retirees such as myself. Okay? Now, how I see the future for my kids that are in their 50s, 40s, they'll cry if I said 50s. They're in their 40s, okay? I'm in my 70s. I'm closer to be 80 and 100 than I am to 50, correct? Well, guess what? I've achieved what I need to achieve. Now, what am I going to do? As I mentioned, I got a game plan. 3 things that I want you to start looking at very seriously, especially if you're 40 plus. Married, single, children, no children, whatever it is. And Trump's going to help you get there. Number 1, tax advice. You need somebody to understand your financial situation because you need to build it. Because that's one thing I have to admit. Now that I'm in my 70s, Social Security was important. Retirement funding was important. Being happy and having goals in life. Having friends and mentors. And what else could I say? Hobbies. I'm in Florida for 23 years. I just took up bowling and I love it. Why? Because I gave up golf. Golf took too much time, too much effort. That's what you guys got to start thinking about. And then you bring your kids in. When my kids were young, we went to golf. We bowled. We played card games. But they were always in sports. And to me, if I could coach my kids, I would do it. And I was very fortunate because I was in sales and marketing, so I could schedule what I needed to do. And I'm a workaholic on top of it. And I had very high expectations, not for everybody else, but for myself, because I saw in the future. And understand, my father is 100 years old. And there's 11 of us, 11 children. And all the children are still alive. And we're all in different boats. Some are entrepreneurial, some aren't, and so on. Okay? Now, I realized I couldn't count on anybody, but one thing my father taught me was to save for a rainy day and live amongst your means. And even though I had to support lifetime alimony, 2 households, child support, education, what else? Everything. Providing services. And what I know today is, hold it here. You don't have to take care of anybody else. You just make sure you take care of yourself, because once you take care of yourself, you could pass that on to your children and give them the role, mentorship, as my father gave me, which was basically stay the course, be disciplined, do everything in moderation, no addictions, no drugs, no alcohol, no gambling, no food. Those are all addictions. And you get fucked up in the head. You know what I'm saying? Very hard to be disciplined. And always consider yourself a winner, because you're going to have doubt. And you're going to have people that do not like you for whatever reason. There could be envy. There could be jealousy. They want to covet yourself. Okay? Think about the 10 Commandments. Adultery. Thou shalt not covet your neighbor's wife or spouse. Thou shalt not covet your neighbor's goods. Believe me, you got enemies out there. And there's evil out there, as you know. So my message today basically is get your shit together and start looking at a few things. Number one, no matter what age you are, because I've done it, and you could do it. And I'm trying to teach my kids and my grandchildren. Save for that rainy day, your retirement, because that retirement is important. And always be employed. Don't say, I'm not going to pay alimony. I'm not going to pay child support. I'm unemployed. Well, guess what? You're going to pay the price at Social Security. Social Security is not going anywhere, man. It's not going anywhere. Okay? That's key. So think retirement. Think mental health and your overall health. Okay? Because you don't know if you're going to get to the finish line. All right? That's your legacy, is doing all the right things. Now, I'm looking at the situation in the future, saying to myself, well, hold it. If I was 30 years younger, what would I do? As you know, I've just started up an online business, which is YouTube and TikTok, but I have an e-commerce store also. So I'm going to build that. Okay? I'm building it under my brand, my name. Okay? I've got publications, I got other things. But why am I doing this? I'm having fun with it. I like it. I want to help other people. That's what I do. And that's what you might want to do. Have a gig. But here's where I'm going to invest. I'm investing in not only America, I'm also investing in Asia. Asia is the future. That's what they call the emerging markets. Start talking about emerging markets in your vocabulary to your broker, okay? Or start studying it, all right, financially. Number two, your tax advisor is going to be very, very important for your future. Even though you're going to say to yourself, well, I can't afford that. Well, you can not afford tax advice. That's what I've learned over the last 30 years. Tax advice. All right? And there's a strategy. Why do you think all these billionaires and trillionaires and multimillionaires, They all got tax advisors. They all got lawyers. It's all part of the game, man. And you could do that.